I'm Lightworker. This is my channel, Awaken a Line of Sand. Now today we're going to get into a pretty controversial topic in the spiritual scene. Okay, and that's spellwork versus manifestation. And this is my perspective. This is probably going to cause a lot of issues with witches. Okay, I understand that. Not all witches are bad. Not all warlocks are bad. Not all wizards are bad. But there is a big difference between spellwork and manifestation. A big difference, in my opinion. Okay, and I might be biased because I am a master manifesting motherfucker. So, I might, I might be a bit biased. But this is just my perception. You don't have to take this on. But at least hear me out. You know what I mean? Hear me out, and then after you've heard me out, then make your own decision based on what you resonate with. Yeah, because I don't know all the answers. I never claim to know all the answers. I just, I speak my truth. Yeah, it's my truth. Yeah, it doesn't have to be your truth. It's my truth. If it resonates with you, it might be your truth too. I don't know. I'm just putting down what I've come to believe. Okay, so my perspective. Okay, I see a clear difference between spellwork and manifestation. Straight up. To me, spellwork is about trying to manipulate people, situations, or outcomes through control, deception, or coercion. It attempts to influence someone's thoughts, emotions, or actions without their willing participation. Okay? One example of this is a love spell. Okay? Now, a love spell, right? There's many ways to do a love spell. There's sex magic you can utilize to do a love spell. There's, utilizing someone's hair and doing a whatever they call that, love potion situation. All right, but if two people wanted to love each other, they would just love each other. Yeah? If two people wanted to love each other, they wouldn't go looking for a love spell. So in other words, a love spell is not consented magic. It's unconsensual magic. Yeah? So it's a form of manipulation. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay? Okay, so examples that would place under the category of my opinion surrounding love spells. Now, I use a lot of practical things in life to explain spellwork and manifestation, okay? But let me put it this way. Examples that I would place under this category include deceit, lies, like word witches, talking shit, lies, deceit, just bullshit, beliefs that are fed to others, and they have, believe this thing and they're being deceived, yeah? Gossip, me, them motherfuckers going around, me, yeah, them motherfuckers, right? Word witches and shit, okay? Rumor spreading, manipulation, emotional manipulation, psychological manipulation, like the CIA and that, they are big on this shit. Coercion, fear tactics, gaslighting, hexes and curses, in traditions that believe in them. Certain forms of witchcraft intended to control others. Once again, not all spellwork is bad, okay? But in my opinion, the majority of spellwork is done without the consent of everyone affected through the manipulation of energies involving those people or situations, okay? That's what I've come to believe in. And a lot of Freemasons, elite Freemasons, they're big on this shit. They're big on it, bunch of pussies. They can't face shit themselves. They got to do a little bit voodoo, fucking abracadabra. Well, no, it's not abracadabra. That's abracadabra is actually manifestation. I say I shall create. That's basically what it means. But so hexes and curses, certain forms of witchcraft intended to control others. Divination, when it is used to manipulate or gain power over someone rather than for personal reflection. Spoken words, word spells, word witch motherfuckers, kitchen witch bitches. Okay, using language to deceive, control, intimidate, or emotionally influence people for selfish purposes. Now, once again, this isn't all spell work. This is dark spell work. Okay, let me state that as a fact, because you can use spell work to enhance your own self, your own life, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of witches out there that do a lot of great things. There's a lot of wizards and masters of spiritual divination and whatnot that are very, very big on being light workers and being, good to the collective and harm to none in their creations. But spell work, dark spell work I'm talking about, right? Because I think so the darkest form of spell work is like sex and blood sacrificial magic. Okay? And the highest form of light spiritual spell work is manifestation, which isn't actually spell work, because spell work, in my opinion, involves some kind of deceit, some kind of manipulation, someone doesn't know what's going on in the process of the spell work. That's why the spell work needs to be done, because if the person knew about it, they'd be hip to it and it wouldn't fucking work, right? But so what I'm trying to say is most spell work is, okay, like I said, self-reflection and spell work done for the internal growth. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Kudos to all them, white witches and whatnot that know the path of the good-hearted, soul. But, a lot of dark spell work is involved around the person who is the intention of the spell work is generally involving manipulating someone else's energy without their consent. And that's not cool. That's not cool, man. You need consent. And better yet, don't do fucking dark spell work, man. Weird Scotchy motherfuckers. Alright, so, yeah. So the common thread in my view, right, is control without the other person's genuine consent. That's what a lot of dark spell work is about, okay? Now, manifestation, I'll do the polarity, right? Manifestation. I see manifestation differently. Of course. Why would you see them two of the same? They're polarities of each other. Manifestation is about aligning yourself with your values, your intentions, and the opportunities that arise in your life. It isn't about forcing another person to act against their will. Instead, it's about focusing on your own actions, mindset, and growth while remaining open to whatever outcome unfolds. Okay? And that isn't even talking about how you do spell work. That's just the mentality of spell work. So spell work in a nutshell, right? Instead of you going and trying to control energy, you're setting a process forth where you put in the action, right, to reach your highest self, create the manifestation list, ask the universe for consent in terms of creating that, in terms of making that a reality. Then you put in the work to make it a reality. There's not nothing unconsensual about fucking manifestation. Okay? All parties, the universe and the person doing it. Now, and the person, the other thing that's it's a key tool about manifestation is you can't have any manifestation come to fruition if it's self-seeking. Okay? It needs to be for the greater good of humanity and harm to none. Okay? That's, and that's the most powerful thing is not what you want in terms of your manifestation, it's why you want it. And if why you want it involves the consideration of the betterment of humanity and the restrictions of being harm to none, then you're much more likely to have your manifestation come to fruition. I'll tell you what, if your how to if your manifestation goal is something, right, and your how involves bettering humanity through that goal and harming no one through that goal, there's a good chance if you put in the action and you stay at high frequency and you have the mindset like it's already happened, and if it doesn't happen the way you want it, it doesn't matter, and if it doesn't happen at all, it doesn't matter, but it's already happened. In spiritual realm, you're just waiting for it to come into this realm, then you're much more likely to make it happen. Yeah, but you got to put in the work, you know. Like, you must create, you must follow things through. Okay, for me, manifestation includes setting clear intentions, gratitude, personal growth, meditation, self-reflection, positive action, trusting the timing of life and the universe, taking responsibility for your choices, working towards your goals without trying to control other people's decisions. The focus is on changing yourself, not controlling someone else. And that's the difference. Okay? This is how I personally distinguish the two. To me, manipulation seeks control. Manifestation seeks to align. Boom, mic drop, baby. You know what I'm saying? One attempts to influence others through control and coercion. The other focuses on becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts opportunities through intention, action, and personal growth. Okay? So that's it in a nutshell. Okay? Straight up. Dark spell work versus manifestation. I should have said dark spell work at the start, but I said spell work. I'm sorry, witches. I'm sorry, wizards. I'm sorry, all the people that involve themselves in spell work. You know, no offense, and I don't mean to put you down. I'm not putting you down, sorry. I'm talking about them dark witch fucks. Them dark wizard fucks, you know what I mean? Them elitist fucks. Them adrenochrome drinking fucks. Yeah? Not the average, everyday white witch just trying to do some divination here and there to progress their own spiritual growth. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Now, so I apologize for not saying dark spell work at the start, yeah? Typo. In a physical form, you know what I'm saying? But, look, so listen, I'm Lightworker. This is my channel, Awaken, Align, Ascend. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, please share it with someone that you think can utilize the value of this video and gain knowledge and growth from this video. You know, if you like this video, you might also like my music. I'll put my music in the links below. A link to my music in the links below, both on YouTube and Spotify. I'll also I got some Mad Chosen One jackets that I've just made. They're collaboration jackets between my company and Champion. You know, I'll put that in the link below. Yeah. All right. So you just have a lovely day, and I hope that's helped. And just remember that. Okay. So the other thing that I did mention is dark spell work is like. It's like there's a level of instant gratification attached to it, you know? Because manifestation is long term. You know, I'm not saying you can't manifest at will and shit doesn't happen immediately, because it's all in the universe's timing. But what I'm saying is, spell work is kind of like dark spell work is like it doesn't resonate with me. And the reason why it doesn't resonate with me is because it's like saying, I'm not enough. I need to manipulate this energy. I need to manipulate this outcome. I need to manipulate this situation. I need to use this deity to, you know, trade off something with myself so I can get something from that deity. It doesn't make sense to me as why it's a worthy interest, because of the fact that it's a negative. It's a negative form of manifestation. It's a polarity of manifestation. It's like, okay, manifestation, the thing about it, you must know within yourself that you were enough. Okay? You must truly believe it enough, and it's already happened, and what your intended manifestation is for the greater good of everyone and harm to none. Okay? And then you need to put in the action for it to become a reality. Whereas spell work is kind of like you do something that's, you know, either using a dark deity or a deity, trading something off to that deity, and then having that deity do your bidding, or doing a concoction and creating a spell potion, and then somehow the other person is covertly, you know, change their perception of you, or you covertly change the outcome of a situation. And for me, that shit is low frequency as fuck. It's shady. It's anything you keep in the darkness keeps you sick. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Manifestation doesn't involve staying in the darkness. And if you keep something hidden, it means you're staying sick on some level. Okay? That transparency is a form of ascension. So is emotional regulation. And if you suppress your emotions, you're staying in darkness. And if you're suppressing your spiritual creations through dark manifestation, then you're staying sick. Thank you. Have a good day. Peace.